Okay, we had a little technical difficulty there, so I'll just start over. I'm really excited to do this training with you guys today because to me, it's one of the best trainings that I have on my agenda. And also because in all of my experience in working with top leaders, whether in my organization, as a corporate office trainer or VP of sales, those kinds of things, or even as a professional coach working with those big achievers in any capacity, one of the things that I have found consistently is that all the top achievers that I've worked with, all of those big success stories, really have these 10 keys. If you ask them what they were, they probably couldn't tell you. But because I work with so many of them, I just see these trends. They have these 10 keys. And so I really sat down one day and thought about what are the things that I see consistently in all these big achievers, and these were those things. So I want to talk about them specifically with you today because they're not anything that any of you cannot adopt into your skill set, your mindsets, and really become one of those big successes. I also want to start here or share this. None of us really know how good we can be. None of us do, including myself. As we have success and our confidence grows, we have bigger success. As we practice and get better, we have more success and we get better and better and build that skill set and that confidence level and really an attitude shift in the way that we think about ourselves, the way that we think about our business. So that's what this is really all about. Things that you can take on, you can adopt and become one of those success stories. Oh, let's see. Sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't sharing my screen. Okay, so let's talk about what are those 10 keys to achieving exceptional results. When I was watching the Olympics, and I tell this story all the time, it's ironic that the Olympics are going on right now, but it's the perfect timing. But when Carly and I, my daughter, were watching the Olympics years ago, there was a gentleman by the name of Pierman Zurbriggen. And we watched him in his first two races. He was a downhill skier with all the moguls and one of those really challenging downhill races. And it was a 3-time event. And in his first two runs, he was literally assured a gold medal. He was so far ahead of everyone else that if he didn't fall down, he was going to get a gold medal. And I'm thinking he's in, right? But as I watched Pierman, as Carly and I watched Pierman head down the slope, he just took off like a rocket. And I'm thinking, if this is me, I'm going to tiptoe down that hill so that I get that gold medal. But that's not what Pierman did. He took out like a rocket out of that gate and just flew down the hill. And unfortunately, he hit one of those moguls and he just tumbled down the hill. Not only did he not get a gold medal, but he didn't medal at all. He lost all of that celebrityism that comes with being a gold medal earner, all those endorsements that you get that make you rich from being a gold medal winner. It just all went away. And I thought, what was he doing? But then Carly and I watched an interview with him later, and they asked him questions. And what we discovered about Pierman is that winning that gold medal to him was not nearly as important to him as doing the best he could do every single time, trying to beat his best, trying to be the best he could become. That's what was important to him. And that's the kind of attitude I hope we can all embrace here, is always wanting to do the best we can do every time, always wanting to improve, get better. And if we strive to do those things, we're going to have exceptional results. So the first key to exceptional results that I want to talk about with you today is the one that I know in my heart of hearts is the most important key of all 10. It's goal setting. And that's really a skill set. Some of these things are just, a way of thinking, but this particular one it's a skill set, and it's not one that we talk about nearly enough. Goal setting is the difference between taking what you get and getting what you want. If we don't have a really clear, specific goal, then anything will do. If we don't have a goal that I'm going to sell $2,000 this month, and I'm not quitting until the bell rings, we might not hit every single goal, but we will always land further ahead than if we didn't, because we're pushing for a target. If we don't have a goal to sell 2,000, and that's not the magic number, it's just the number I'm pulling out of the hat. If we don't have a goal to sell a certain amount, then we just tend to settle for whatever we get. Oh, well, I only sold 500 this month, so I guess that's where I'm landing. But with that goal, we push, we do more to get the result that we want. We go for extra bookings. We might do a sale. We might make customer contacts just to get more volume to hit that target instead of just settling for the 500. We're always further ahead when we set a goal. This is a picture of my son at 12 years old, Reed, little boy in baseball, but also this was a magical summer for him. 12 years old, he decides that he wants to buy this video game that costs $40. Not a big deal. I mean, in our house, we had a very strong work ethic attitude that we wanted to instill in our children. So they got an allowance, but if they wanted something that cost more than their budget allowed, they could do extra chores to earn money. They could mow the grass or wash the dishes or, vacuum or make hostess packets for me or recruiting packets. We gave them tasks to do to earn that money, not just, well, here you go, here's some extra money to get what you want. We really wanted them to learn how to earn the things that they wanted in life. So Reed's 12. That video game was not the big deal. It was $40. He's in his 30s now. I never can remember how old they are. Years just go so fast. But so this is a long time ago. And not only did he have to buy that video game, but our computer required more memory than we had to run that video game. So he had to earn an extra $400 to buy enough memory for the computer to run that video game. So now we're talking not a few extra chores, right? This is serious. So Reed decides that he's going to follow in his sister's footsteps and pick blueberries at the blueberry fields. His sister had done that the year before. And so, well, good. So we'll drive you every day, it's for the season and you can pick blueberries and earn that money. He's pretty excited. So we take him to the blueberry fields the first day. And keep in mind, we drive a Suburban, which gets about 6 feet to the gallon. It's a 30-minute drive to the fields, 30 minutes back home. So it's a 2-hour round trip daily to take him and pick him up. A lot of time when you're working full time. So we did that, took him to the fields, so excited for his first day at the blueberry fields. He's ready to go. And then 8 hours later, we go pick him up. Well, this is a different boy. When he walks out to the car, he's like shuffling to the car and he is not a happy trooper. He is dirty. He's been fighting bees and spiders all day. Not real good at this yet. He picked 40 pounds of blueberries, which was 25 cents an hour. So this kiddo made $10 his first day picking blueberries in 8 hours. Now, before you turn me into CPS, the story gets better. So he's ready to quit. And I'm not so disappointed because it's 2 hours round trip and it's a lot of gas just to take him. I mean, I could pay him $10 to mow the grass, things like that. But Dad had a different idea. He's like, no, they finish what they start. Yes, it's hard. He didn't do as well today as he wanted to, but he'll get better. This is going to be a good experience for Reed. Don't you hate it when they're right? I said, yeah, you're right. So we wouldn't let him quit. And all week we're driving him to the fields and I'm trying to be the cheerleader. You can do better, Reed. I know you can. This is going to be your day. You're going to pick more. He's like, I'm doing the best I can. But every day it's like 39, 40, 38, 41. He's right around that $10 mark in income for the first week. Just getting madder by the minute. Still wants to quit. And then Friday we pick him up. And this little guy is like skipping to the Suburban. Like, what happened? What happened here? Because he's just so happy. Friday. What's different about Friday? It's payday. So he was, cash in hand from his blueberry picking all week. It wasn't a lot, but still cash in hand. And so he was so excited about the money that he'd earned all of a sudden. And all weekend, all he could talk about is, I'm going to pick 50 pounds Monday. Now, he didn't even know he was setting a goal, but that's exactly what he was doing. Didn't pick 50, he picked 53 the next day. I'm going to pick 60. I picked 62. Every day, his poundage is getting better. He's earning more and more every day. He's getting steadily more excited. And then as the season goes on, not only did his skill set improve and he's picking more and more, but somewhere in there, Clarissa, the owner of the blueberry fields, walked out to the car with Reed and she said, I want you to know that Reed is the best picker we've ever had. And I'm telling you, we had a peacock in the back seat. He is just so proud because his sister was not the best picker she'd ever had. He was. And that just drove that motivation. You know, these are all things that we're going to experience. That's why I'm telling this story. That success, that recognition drove his motivation. He started taking shorter breaks so he could hit his target. And then he started skipping breaks so he could hit his target. A little shorter lunch break. And then he started calling us and letting us know, don't come get me yet, I'm 5 pounds away. He was doing whatever it took to hit his goal. And it got better and better and better. That little 12-year-old went from picking 40 pounds his first day to 124. That was his record day. Every Friday from early on, Reed was recognized as the #1 picker of the week, and he would get recognized in front of his peers. She would give him prizes. So we had a pantry that was just packed full of blueberry syrup, blueberry jam, blueberry vinegar. I mean, we had more blueberry anything than we needed for the next decade. But it just meant so much to Reed to get that recognition, to feel good about what he was doing. Now, one thing that I didn't tell you, I'll skip that, I'll come back to that. So somewhere in the season, he became the trainer for all the new pickers. This whole 12-year-old boy is training the new kids. So another step up in that confidence level. So what I was going to tell you a second ago is when Reed was little, he was tested as gifted. Real smart kiddo. But he never got better than C's because he didn't believe that he was that smart. That summer not only built his confidence in the berry fields and what he was capable of, but that spilled over into the next school year where he got straight A's. Hey, I'm better than I think I am. And it just drove him to have a much higher confidence in other areas of his life. Today, he's a huge success at Costco. He was in the IT department of Costco, and he was the manager of the travel department. He's just done so well. And I just know that this summer was a stepping stone for him seeing what he was capable of. We don't know what we're capable of. We don't know how good we can be. When we step out of our comfort zone and start to do things that we're not sure we can do, and we stick with it and we get better and better, we start to see ourselves in a different way. Goals are not important just because they drive our business, give us more success, but because they also build our confidence and help us to see ourselves as the success that we are capable of. As your confidence grows, so will the size of your goals. Just like Reed, he didn't set a goal to pick 70 when he picked 40 the day before. It was baby steps, 50, then 60, then 65, then 70, just baby steps. As your confidence grows, so will the size of your goals. And yet it's also important to set stretch goals. If Reed had set a goal to pick 41 when he picked 40 the day before, there wouldn't have been that push. There wouldn't have been that sense of accomplishment when he achieved it. It's just a teeny bit more, not, wow, that was 5 pounds more, or that was 7 pounds more, or whatever it was. It was a stretch goal, one that I know if I really push, I can do it, but it's going to be difficult. That's what we mean by stretch goals. It's also important to know your why. When we set a goal, why do I want to do this? Why is that important to me? That why is what keeps us going when we get cancellations, or we lose a recruit, or we lose a leader. It's what keeps us going. Why is this so important to me? Why do I want it so bad? When my kids were little, it was probably shortly after Reed and the berry fields, but they were still little guys, I wanted to take my whole family on a cruise. We'd never done anything like that before. They're expensive, with the money that I was earning at the time and that my ex-husband was earning. So it was a stretch for me. I was a salaried employee. At this time I was corporate in direct sales. But the first step in corporate, not a VP, but just my first step into corporate, So it wasn't big money yet. And my husband was on salary as well. And of course, like most people, we lived to our income. You know, our house, our cars, and everything kind of fit the income that we were in. So I knew that if we were going to go on this cruise, there'd have to be some extra money. Well, I got a bonus as this corporate person based on my regional sales and leadership development. So I had an opportunity to earn a bonus. And the year before, in my first year as that corporate employee, I had a bonus of $2,400. So we figured we needed about $7,000 to take the family on a cruise. That's a big leap from $2,400 to a $7,000 bonus. But that was my goal. That's what I wanted to do. And I told the kids about it, and I put a thermometer on the fridge so that they could see my bonus growing. By the sales increase in my region, every time I promoted a leader, I got another part of the bonus. Like, they could see this bonus growing. And we were all getting more and more excited as the year went on, seeing that cruise become closer to reality. Well, here we are. Sorry, that's wrong. Let's go back. So, too far ahead, sorry. Okay, I'll go pass this on. Come on. Sorry, guys, I'm just not getting my mouse is not wanting to work here. Ugh. I've had nothing but computer problems today. Ugh. I'm going to stop the share and come back to it. Here we go. So while I'm waiting for this to open up. So bottom line is that we did that family cruise. Well, we did a few of those cruises. We had such a great time that I decided I wanted to take my entire family on a cruise. My sister and her family, my brother and his wife, and my parents, because my stepdad, who was dad to me, when you ask me who was your biggest supporter your whole career, it was definitely my stepdad. Whenever I was discouraged, I didn't call my dad, I didn't call my mom, I called my stepdad, because he was the one who believed in me more than anybody. He would always say, "You got this, Sherry. You can make this happen." You know, just kind of talk me through it. Well, he was real sick. We knew he wasn't going to be around much longer, and I just wanted us all together. My sister and I were in Washington, my brother's in Florida, and my parents, both sets were in Arizona. My mom and my stepdad, and my dad and my stepmom. So I just had to be so great for us to all be together again. Both sets of parents got along real well, so it would be just so amazing. But we knew that that was going to be a big one. Well, my bonuses had been growing over the years, and here's another sidebar that I think will also help the way we think about what we're capable of. When I started as a developer, corporate developer for this company, there were 6 of us, 6 developers. And when we'd sit around and talk about the bonuses and salaries, the other developers would say, "Forget about the bonus, Sherry. Nobody's ever earned one. They're too hard." Well, I'm one of those, if you put money on the table, I'm going to find a way to get it. So I was the first one to earn a bonus there. It was only $2,400, as I said, but it had continued to grow every year. Those bonuses were possible if you just did the work to get them and you set a goal and you had a plan. So my bonuses had grown from $2,400 to $7,000 to $17,000, $34,000, $51,000, and $74,000. Big bonuses, but you could see it was a progression. So that's the way goals work. We set stretch goals, but ones that will move us forward, propel us forward, stretch goals that will grow our business and grow our success. So it had gone from $2,400 to $7,400, but so had our lifestyle. You know, let's be honest, so had our lifestyle. So I knew that the bonus had to be considerably more to take 15 people on a family vacation, pay for the cruise, pay for the airfare. It was going to be a big expense. So I broke it down and figured that my bonus had to go from $74,000 to $100,000 to take my family on a cruise. That was my why. Probably the biggest why I've ever had. Doing something really special for my stepdad, making sure that he had a really great time with his entire family before it was too late. Well, my bonus was 101,000. See the power of goal setting? It wasn't 80, it was 101,000, 1,000 off of what I wanted it to be in order to make this a reality. That's the power of goal setting. And there is my family on the family cruise. And this handsome guy right here is my stepdad. And it wasn't too long after that that he was gone. But I and my whole family have all of those memories. This is Carly when she's 8. And I have memories of her dancing with my stepdad on the dance floor. You know, I mean, you just can't replace those kinds of things, those memories. It was one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life. Most important why I've ever had. We laughed so much. We still talk about all the funny things that happened on that cruise. So know your why. What is it that you want to do this for? And is it important enough that you will do whatever it takes to make it happen? I remember hearing this at conference and I thought, oh, I like that. And I've never forgotten it. Do you want it badly enough to do whatever it takes to get whatever you want? That's an important question to ask yourself whenever you're setting a goal. And I know we're spending a lot of time on this one key, but it's important enough that we do. It's the most important skill set you can get, goal setting. I want to talk to you about goals, which is success on purpose. When you set a goal and you reach it, it's your fault, kind of. You know, you made it happen. So you get to take credit for that. And I also want to talk about SMART goals. And that acronym stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, with a time frame. So we start with specific. We can't say, I want to sell a lot. That's not measurable. We have to have a specific number so that it is measurable. We need to make sure that it's attainable. If we are at the first level of leadership, let's not set a goal to be at the third level of leadership in 60 days because it's not attainable. It's not going to happen. And so we're setting a goal that we're going to fail at, and that will deflate our confidence. And one of the big reasons we set goals is to inflate our confidence. We want to make sure that it's realistic. If we don't believe that we can make this happen, we won't even do anything to get started on that goal. It's just sort of a wish. We need to believe in our own mind that if I set this goal, yeah, it's a stretch, but if I really work at it, I can make it happen. And it needs to have a time frame. I'm going to sell X amount in August. I'm going to promote to this level by this date. Everything needs a time frame. So we start with my goal is, and then setting your goal, and then we go right to the benefit. That's your why. What are all the benefits that I'm going to receive when I achieve this goal? It might be I want to go on the incentive trip. Well, is the trip the only thing that's going to happen if you earn that trip? No, you're going to have increased confidence. You're going to have a strong party count because you need that to earn the trip. You're going to have brought in new recruits, which is building your team. You're going to promote to leader or promote leaders, which is going to give you residual income in the future. There's perhaps other incentives that you earn on that journey to the incentive trip. So when you're thinking about earning a goal or setting a goal, what are all the benefits that you get there? Because the more benefits we can tie to that goal, the more likely we are to stick to that goal. Affirmation, that's how we write out our goal as if it's already happened. So I might say, it is December 31st, and I earned the incentive trip to the Bahamas. I am so excited. I'm going to be recognized at the meeting for achieving my goal. All the income that I've earned across, through the journey of achieving that incentive trip is going to pay for a new above ground pool for the backyard. I but you see where I'm going with this, just you write your affirmation and you tie in all of the benefits to it. So that every time you get a little discouraged about that goal, oh, I had another cancellation. Oh, this person decided not to join. You just pick up that affirmation and you read it, and it reinstates that drive, that excitement about achieving this goal. Okay, so I lost a booking. I'll get another one. Okay, so she decided not to join. There's lots of other people out there. Just reinstates that excitement for our goal. So affirmation is important. And then break it down. One of the things I do for big organizations is they'll hire me to do a trip breakdown for them, where I take the trip and I break it down into what do I need to do starting right now each week to achieve my goal. And it just gets people to see, oh, I can do that. That number, let's say it's 30,000 points to go on the incentive trip. Well, that just sounds ridiculous. It sounds huge. But when you just break it down to what do I need to do every week, we think, oh, I can do that. You want to do that with your goals. What do I need to do each week to make this goal a reality? Maybe it's, I want to sell $2,000. Okay, that could be a big number in your mind if you've never sold more than 500. But $500 is, in most companies, one party a month. So I want to sell 2,000 this month. So if I break that down, it's really only one party a week. It's really only 2.5 hours a week of party time. We just break it down until we say, oh, I can do that. We want to believe in that goal. That's a big part of us sticking with it. Then, of course, we want an action plan. An action plan is your to-do list to achieve your goal. I need to make booking contacts to get my party count up if I'm going to sell $2,000. I need to hostess coach so I have great attendance at those parties. I need to make sure that I am selling high ticket items to get those sales up. Just an action plan to make sure that I'm achieving that goal that I set for myself. And then work the plan. That's important, right? We can do all of these other things, but if we don't actually just go to work and work that plan, make those booking contacts, do that hostess coaching, decide what we're going to be showing at our parties, plant those booking seeds and recruiting seeds to grow our party count, then we're not going to get anywhere. So we, of course, got to work the plan. I love this little thing at the bottom. That's another Sherryism. Patience equals results, persistence equals results. When we stick with something, we're going to get results. When we get results, we get excited, just like Reid. And when we get excited, we get even bigger results. What are the goal stoppers? Self-talk. That's it. We talk ourselves out of doing things. We come from a world of easy, meaning we want everything to be easy. And it's getting bigger and bigger. That it needs to be easy is getting bigger and bigger. It's one of those things I'm talking to my coaching clients about all the time. You got to make it easy for them to have success. You've got to make it easy for them to have success. Give them the scripts, do a booking list, but just make it easy for them to have success. We want easy. Well, if we're going to be one of those big achievers, if we're going to be exceptional, not just good, exceptional, if your goal is to be one of those big achievers, top leader, top income earner, then your self-talk is that's the only thing that's going to stop you is your self-talk. What are we saying to ourselves? If we say, I'm going to try, I hope I'll earn the incentive trip, well, I'll give it my best shot. What we're really doing is leaving a back door open. And whenever we leave that back door open, trust me, we're going to take it. So we don't want to do that. We want to use positive self-talk, inspiring self-talk. Like, I'm going to do this. Say it with confidence. Say it with authority. I am going to be on an incentive trip. I am going to promote to this level of leadership by this date. I'm going to do it no matter what. It's that self-talk. No, I try. No, we'll see. I hope. Just, I'm doing this. Your self-talk is what talks you out of the success that you are capable of. All right, so here's just a few quotes that I put on my wall when I was new to goal setting. I started this business, this industry in 1985, and I knew nothing about direct sales. So I just became a student and read books and just surrounded myself with affirmative quotes. And so for goal setting, these were some of the ones that I surrounded myself with to make sure that I was setting goals, sticking with my goals. Dennis Waitley, those who don't have goals are destined to work forever for those who do. Good one, right? To achieve happiness, we should make certain we are never without an important goal. Earl Nightingale. So many amazing people with quotes specific to goal setting. So you can see it's a big deal. There's a whole book on stop setting goals. It became a big thing when I was at Party Line. Everybody's reading this book. I just throw that book away. Goals are what drive your business. Goals are not only necessary to motivate us, they are essential to really keep us alive. Do you know how excited I was when I was working towards that first family trip to see that progress? Or the family trip to see that check getting bigger and bigger and knowing that I was going to be able to do this, it just drove me. An achieved goal is the starting point for future progress. That's what I've been talking about all this time. It's a starting point. And when we achieve that goal gets bigger. And we're not going to achieve every goal. I don't either. But if you don't stop until the bell rings, you're going to be so much further ahead than you would have been without that goal, and you'll achieve most of them. Life is only meaningful when we're striving for a goal, Aristotle. Okay, the second key is decide. When you're setting a goal, when you just decide that you want to do something, just make that decision and stick to it. When I was at a particular company, it was my last rodeo in direct sales corporately. I've been back and forth, field, corporate, and developer, trainer, field, VP of sales, just kind of all over the place, back and forth. But this was my last corporate rodeo. And the VP of sales and we never got along. She didn't want me to be hired, but the president of that particular company knew me real well from past company and just was insistent that I become the head of training at that company. She didn't like me. So there was a little bit of this going on. It was a company that was in serious decline. They'd gone from a $600 million company to a $200 million company, which is one of the reasons that they brought me in as their head of training, is to change things, to equip the field to be excited and skilled to have success in this business and put programs together for them and systems. And my first day on the job, this VP of sales said, "I don't want you changing a thing." And I said, you do know that we're in a serious decline. That's why I got hired, right? So I don't want you changing a thing. This field likes things the way they are. They don't want change. And I said, okay. So I went to my training department and said, okay, so this is what I was told by the VP of sales, but that's not how I roll. We're gonna make sure that we're doing our job here in the training department, and we're doing it well. And it hasn't been done well in the past. So, if you want to change departments, now's your chance. But everybody said, no, that's what we want. We'll take the risk. And we just turned that training department upside down. And within 6 months, that company went from being in red, meaning every month behind, just slowly declining, to their first black, our first increase in years. And we were just so proud of our training department. Everybody loved the training department now, where they were kind of the stepchild before. We were so well respected, not by the field, but by other departments, that I was invited to every meeting. They just wanted, Sherry's input and should we do this or not, because they could see what a difference we were making in the company. Well, that didn't go over well. So I got fired. My first time in my life I've ever been fired. And yes, I went home and cried. And about 2 hours later, I said, okay, that's it. Nobody's ever firing me again. I'm gonna start my own company. And I just made that decision. Well, I got offers for, VP of sales with this company, other corporate jobs, which would have been so much easier to just say, yeah, I'll take that job. The salary is amazing. It's got all the benefits. That's this side. This side is I take my entire savings and start my own business, Average to Excellence, not knowing where it will go. I've never done this before. Will I be a success? Will people hire me? Will I do okay? Not knowing, but just knowing I never wanted to be an employee again. And so I decided and passed on all those offers. Big risk over here, security over here. But I made the decision, I did this. And Average to Excellence has been in business since 2008, and it's been quite a ride. We've had tons of success, and it's been my, my sole source of income since 2008. And we've lived a pretty good life because of that, because of the decision that I made all those years ago. Decide when you're going to do something, make that decision and stick with it. Commit. I think about my daughter, Jillian. She's my oldest, and for most of her life, I was doing pretty well financially, corporately and in the field, and I felt like we'll be able to send her to whatever college she chooses and pay for it. Well, when it was time for Jill to go to college, my ex-husband had lost his job. I had just stepped down from corporate to go back in the field again, start all over. And I did that before he lost his job. And so all of a sudden, we're down 2 six-figure incomes and trying to live on me as a brand new consultant in this direct sales company. But I decided that I didn't want to go back to corporate at that point, and just thought, well, I'll just step up my game. But the bottom line is that I couldn't help Jill, because by the time she was in college, we had burned through our savings, and it was just a real tough time for us. Jill could have said, well, I just won't go to college. If I can't get any financial help, I just won't go to college. But that wasn't Jill. She's the first college graduate in our family. On my dad's side and my mom's side, she's the first college graduate in our family. And so it was important to her. And she decided, I'm going to go to college no matter what. And she made that commitment, which meant she had to work. She had some scholarships, but she had to work full time, carry a full load of credits, and study all that goes along with that to get herself through college. But she did it. She stuck with it. That's commitment. It was important enough to her that, unlike her friends whose parents paid for college, I mean, not everybody does, but her friends had a pretty easy go of it, and their college was paid for. They didn't have to work, so they could be out partying on the weekends while Jill was working or studying. But she committed, and she stuck with it. And there's a picture of Jill at her college graduation, first college graduate in our family. She did it the hard way. So commit, determine the price you'll have to pay to get it, and then resolve to pay that price. That's H.L. Hunt, oil billionaire. I've always loved that quote and kind of thought, any billionaire is worth listening to, right? But I like that. Determine the price you'll have to pay to get it. What am I going to have to do to make this a reality? And then resolve to pay that price. She didn't get to go out with all the kids on the weekends. She was working and studying. Not that she didn't ever do it, but not to the extent that all of her friends did. She was committed to making sure that she did what she needed to graduate. And not only did she graduated with a 3.8, carrying a full load. Grant Thornton, accounting firm, hired her out of a pool of 300 candidates. She was the only selection. And they said, anybody that can carry a full load, get a 3.8, is somebody that we have on our team. And from there, she went to Starbucks, to their international department in their accounting firm. While she was at Grant Thornton, though, I forgot to mention this, and working a 50-hour week, she was also studying and taking her exams for the CPA. Now, some of you may be CPAs or know somebody who is, but if not, it's like passing the bar. There are 4 stages of tests to get your CPA, and they're hard. She would just study for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to take that first exam, but she got her CPA and then went on to Starbucks, to their international department. And she's worked for other companies since then, but just all because of her commitment. Discipline. It takes discipline to have success. And that's something that not all of us have instinctively. It's something that we really have to work at. But it's also one of those things that when you are disciplined and you make things happen, that discipline becomes a way of life for you. You just do whatever it takes to make things happen. We have to prove ourselves to ourselves. We have to prove that to us that we can do that if we are disciplined. Nobody likes to do things like make booking contacts. I didn't like them either, but I had to do them if I was going to get the party count that I needed to hit my goals. We don't like to talk to people about the business, most of us. It's uncomfortable. We have that fear of rejection, which is a myth, but we still have it. We have to get past that. There's lots of things in our business that are uncomfortable, that we don't want to do, that we don't like to do. But if we're going to have the success that we want, we have to do them anyway. Discipline is a really important part of true success, big success. All of those top leaders that you know are disciplined. Those top leaders that I coach are disciplined. I'll tell you a secret. I did not like doing parties. Never liked doing parties. At first it was because I was afraid. I'm still today one of the shyest people on the planet. This is different. Speaking at a conference in front of 10,000 people is different somehow, because that's my area of expertise. I know what I know, and I'm excited to share it with people. That doesn't scare me. Put me in a room full of strangers at a party or something, or a gathering, and I'm the one that just sort of sits back and doesn't talk, just listens. It just makes me, to this day, uncomfortable. But if I was going to have success, I had to do those parties, even though I didn't like doing them. Once I got to the party, I was okay, but it was just like, ugh, I don't want to go to that party tonight. Even when I was doing 150 to 175 parties a year, I still didn't like doing them. But that was at that moment when I was financially in a really rough spot, and I needed those 150 to 175 parties a year to pay the mortgage, to keep the lights on, to buy groceries. I had to do it, even though I didn't like to do it. If we do the things that we need to do when we need to do them, the day will come when we can do the things we want to do when we want to do them. Zig Ziglar. All of those years of doing things that I didn't want to do led me to be equipped and knowledgeable enough to start my own company, coaching and speaking and training and writing books about this business. That discipline is what equipped me to be who I am today, and it will you too. I believe success is achieved by ordinary people with extraordinary determination. This was always one of my favorite quotes. I don't know if you've heard of the book See You at the Top by Zig Ziglar, but it's my first book that I read when I got into this business. And it's a book that I read every year. And every year it means something different to me. We hear things and see things based on where we're at in our business and in our mental state and in life. So every year that I read that, so many of those quotes mean something different to me today. But what it meant to me then was, this is your first rodeo in direct sales. You don't know what you're doing. You're shy. Your confidence level is about this big. But ordinary people, that's me. I barely graduated from high school, and only because I had two teachers who loved me and they gave me credit for math, for being a teacher's assistant in his math class. And I also had another teacher that gave me credit for being a teacher's assistant, and I got credit for cheerleading class and PE, and so I got all these credits. It didn't really take me anywhere in life, honestly, but it got me out of high school. So I didn't do well in school. And, I just wasn't that smart, but I decided to go on to college. And so I went to college and I flunked out my first quarter, first semester, came home, and I never went back. I was just like, see, you're just not smart enough. But I'll tell you what I've learned over all the years is I am smart and you're smart. And we learn things by reading and trying and doing, and then we just get better and better and better. I'm smarter than I think, or smarter than I thought I was. And if I'd had that confidence and that discipline and that determination, I wouldn't have dropped out of college. I would have just figured out what I needed to do to get better grades. But that really related to me, because ordinary people with extraordinary determination, that's more important than how brilliant you are, because determination will get you better. It will take you places. It will help you learn more and more. The master key to success. my ex-husband was a football player for college, and I worked 2 full-time jobs to put him through school. And so I got to spend a lot of time with this particular person. Frosty Westring was the coach at Pacific Lutheran University. And to this day, I will tell you, he is the greatest mentor I've ever had. I wasn't a player, of course, but I was the wife of a football player. So I got to serve Gatorade at their 3-day practices in the summer, and I got to be at the banquets, and I got to be at the pregame and postgame locker room talks and hear him talk to his people, talk at banquets. And he just inspired me so much by the things that he said. Like, it's not who you are in comparison to others, but who you are in comparison to your own best self. Compare yourself to your own best self and try and be a better you today, and then better and better. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. I loved that. He also said, I can't remember if I had it on top of my head, but basically it was just be the best at whatever you're doing. That's not the brilliant way he said it, but be the best at whatever you're doing. Do the best you can at whatever you're doing. And I took that to heart as a server in a restaurant, and that attitude, do the best at whatever you're doing. And so that took me to be the head server at that restaurant, and then the person that trained the head servers at all of the restaurants in this restaurant chain, and then a manager, a regional manager, and then the fixer who would fix the restaurants in that restaurant chain. So those were just a few things that Frosty taught me, but this was the biggie, the master key to success. We may think that that person is successful because she's so funny, she's so beautiful, she's so brilliant, she's so creative. None of those reasons are the reasons that people are a success. Master key to success is simple, and it's something that any one of us can adopt. And when Frosty taught that to me, I adopted it, and I know you will too. Frosty Westring said, form the habit of doing things that the less successful person is not willing to do. It's as simple as that. Form the habit of doing things that the less successful person is not willing to do. This person won't make booking contacts because it's not fun. I don't like to do it. I want easy. I don't want to step out of my comfort zone. That person will not talk to somebody about the business opportunity because what if they say no? What if they reject me? We form the habit of doing the things that the less successful person is not willing to do. Doesn't matter what we're doing, there's going to be parts of it we don't like. You know, being a parent of an infant is joyous, and we love every new thing that they're doing. But we still have to change those dirty diapers. We still have to wake up in the middle of the night when they're crying. You know, there's no matter what we're doing or who we are at the moment, there's going to be a part of that job or that piece of our life that we don't like. Form the habit of doing things that the less successful person is not willing to do. You adopt that. It will change your business. It will change you. It will change your life. A willingness to step out of your comfort zone. I just have to play this video for you because it still gives me chills every time I watch it. I bet I've seen this 1,000 times. Doing this training so many times, speaking at a national conference so many times, retreats, regional meetings. It still gives me chills when I watch this, and you may have seen it as well, but it's worth seeing again. And I'll talk about it afterwards, but let's just watch it first.
But for the next contestant, the world of showbiz seems a million miles away. It's Paul, a mobile phone salesman from South Wales.
One day, I tell my parents is to spend my life doing what I feel that I was born to do.
Paul, what are you here for today, Paul?
To sing opera. I've always wanted to sing as a career. Confidence has always been sort of a difficult thing for me. I've always found it a little bit difficult to be completely confident in myself.
Okay, ready when you are.
So you work at Carphone Warehouse, and you did that. I wasn't expecting that.
No, it was not.
This was a complete breath of fresh air. I thought you were absolutely fantastic.
You have an incredible voice. I think if you keep singing like that, you are going to be one of the favourites to win this whole competition.
I think that we've got a case of a little lump of coal here that is going to turn into a diamond.
Okay. Moment of truth, young man. Here's.
Absolutely, yes.
Amanda,
Yes.
Paul, you are through to the next round.
See, I still get chills. So did you see at the beginning, he's so nervous, so unsure of himself, really lacking confidence, that this dream of his was so big that he was willing to step so far out of his comfort zone. People were judging him. He's got bad teeth. You don't look like an opera singer. But guess what? He performed, and you could just see the judges and the audience just going crazy. They're crying. He's so amazing. And today, of course, he's enjoying fame and fortune because he's a famous opera singer, because he stepped out of his comfort zone there. We have to be willing to step out of our comfort zone. We don't know what one little thing we're going to do that's going to take us to fame and fortune. It could be offering the business opportunity to somebody that sort of scares you a little bit, and they become your next top leader. You just never know. We've got to be willing to step out of our comfort zone if we're going to grow. If we're going to grow personally, we have to step out of our comfort zone. That's how we do grow personally, is by doing things that feel uncomfortable until we do them long enough that they're not comfortable. It's how we grow our skill set. When we do it and we're not that good, but we do it again and again until we are good at it. And it's not comfortable until we are good at it. That's a big part of being one of those big achievers, a big key in exceptional results. Courage is being afraid and doing it anyway. I kind of love that quote over here. Always like that one. I like this one too. The speed at which we develop or manifest the things in life we want is directly proportionate to the speed at which we become comfortable with those things. And we don't get comfortable until we do them enough to become comfortable with those things. Belief is another key to exceptional results, really achieving that belief in yourself. And, you know, this gentleman did not believe he was going to be that success, but he believed in his ability. He just wanted to give it his best shot. We have to believe, develop that belief in ourselves. And how do we develop that belief? It's, or even our belief in our company or our programs or our business, by listening to audios and reading things like I did all of those years and still do, so that I can build my confidence, build my belief in myself, build my skill set. Belief in our company by just making sure that we are going to those meetings and hearing what a success the company is, going to conference and hearing about that company's success. That develops our belief in the company, belief in our industry, by just making sure that we are at all of those opportunities to hear the success and the results from our company. Belief is important. When we believe in ourselves, we do more, we try more, we step out of our comfort zone more. Knowledge is power. You know, how many times we hear that? Knowledge is power. I feel like we should just put a big circle around that with a line through it that says knowledge by itself is not power. We need to add something to that. Knowledge plus action is power. How many of us know people that went to college and never did anything with that? We know people that are super smart, but they don't do anything with that. They go to the meetings, they go to conference, they show up for trainings like this, and they accrue that knowledge, but they don't do anything with it. Knowledge plus action is where power is. We've got to do it. Knowledge equals confidence. Knowledge equals confidence. but action equals power. That's what I was trying to say. Knowledge equals confidence, but action equals power. I love this one too. The expert at anything was a beginner first. You know, ask any top leader how nervous they were, how inexperienced they were when they started. And they'll tell you, I started with the same kit you did. I didn't know what I was doing, but I did my first party and I made mistakes and I got through it. And then I did my second party and I was better, you know, okay. But the more parties I did, the better I got. And the more confidence I had and the more I believed in myself. The expert at anything was a beginner first. We all start there and then we just grow from there. I love this Ziegler quote. I'm all about quotes today, aren't I? When you can't see that far, go a little ways. And when you get there, you'll be able to see further. It just means when I can't see myself at team leader, you get your first recruit. And you think, oh, maybe I can do this. You get your second recruit and you know you can. I'm like, you know, 2 recruits away. So when you can't see that far, go a little ways. And when you get there, you'll be able to see further. I can't imagine earning a $10,000 a month income. It's too far out there. It's too big. But earn 1,000 and you can see yourself earning 2,000 a month. Earn 2 and you can see 4. Earn 4 and you can see 8. Earn 8 and you can see 10, 12. We just keep moving forward, growing, and then those big picture things start to shrink and become things that we can see ourselves achieving. When you can't see that far, go a little ways, and when you get there, you'll be able to see further. Focus. Focus is important also. It's another key to exceptional results, being able to really focus on what you need to be doing. Obstacles are the things we see when we take our eyes off the goal. I had a downline. She was a new consultant that sold $8,000 and $8,300, sorry, because 8,000 was the record before her. So she had to break that $8,300 in her first month of business and went on to be a top leader in my organization. But I remember bringing her on stage when she was like on her journey, but just doing so well. And you know, I said, well, what do you do when you get a cancellation? She said, I book another one. What do you do when you lose a recruit? I recruit somebody else. What do you do when you lose a leader? I find another leader. She was like a Clydesdale with blinders on. All she could see was where she wanted to go. And that was regional vice president, that top level of leadership. That's all she could see. And nothing was going to get in her way. Nothing distracted her. No challenges, no obstacles. She just kept the course and went all the way to the top. We need that kind of, you know, blind focus to achieve the things that we want to achieve. All right. So here's an example of the wrong focus. This is my business card when I first got started. I mean, we spent months getting ready to open Average to Excellence, you know, designing a website, the name for the company, which took forever, just trying to come up with a name that wasn't already taken. And we landed on Average to Excellence. So we're all ready to make a business card. Made my business cards. I went to my nail salon I'd gone to for years. I said, Miley, can I leave some of these here? Because she had a lot of direct sellers that she did their nails. She said, of course. So next time I came in, she said, hey, somebody took one of your cards. I said, oh, really? What did they say? And she said, what does she do? Got the name on there. Hey, I'm the president. What does she do? Do you think that's an important thing to have on your business card? Where was my focus? Name, who I am, my website, but not what can I do for you? What is the service that I offer? Totally missed that mark on my business card. Got to have a focus, but the right focus. Next, be teachable. This is one of the things that I see in so many people in our industry. They feel like I'm a success. I don't really need any more help. I don't really, you know, I know what I'm doing. I don't need Sherry. I don't need this speaker. I don't need this seminar. I just, you know, I know what I need to know to be really successful in this business. Those are the people that scare me the most. I'm 35 years in this business and I feel like every month all I'm trying to do is learn more ways that I can help you. What's going on in the market? How can I help them? How can I help them maximize this situation? How can I help them minimize this situation? How can I help them recruit better? How can I equip them to be better leaders? I'm still trying to learn every day to be a better help to you guys. And I'll never get there. I'll never get to, okay, now I know everything. So we want to remain teachable. There's always a new way to do things, a better way to do things, a new way of looking at things. to be even more successful. Always remain teachable and open to what's happening, what else can I do? Everyone we meet is our superior at something. What can I learn from this person? So, I'm a big golf fanatic right now. So every time we go golfing, if we're golfing with somebody good, I'm like, what can I ask him? What is he doing that's different than what I'm doing, so that I can learn from that and perhaps be a better golfer. Maybe this person's a better cook. Well, tell me how you do this, or this person's, a better gardener. So everyone we meet is our superior at something. There's always things we can learn from people if we're open to it. Experience is the best teacher. Yeah, I'm going to disagree with that. Experience is not the best teacher. Other people's experience is the best teacher. I've made every mistake in the book, and some of them more than once, because I think, well, it didn't work that time. Let's try it again, see if it works better. No, it still doesn't work. I can tell you what not to do in this business. I can tell you what to do in this business to keep you from making mistakes that will really hurt your business or your team, will really help your business or help your team, help you move up or keep you from moving up. I've been doing this too long to not know how to help you. Other people's experience is the best teacher. Instead of making the same mistakes, let people tell you who have made those mistakes and figured out what not to do. Don't do that. It doesn't work. Do this. It does work. Other people. Save yourself a lot of time, heartache, and expedite that growth by listening to people who are doing things right and who have done things wrong that can keep you from doing those things. And the last one is persistence. And I know that I'm over, so I'll try and make this really fast. But persistence, it's last because it's in my training, because I just know that this is one of the things that really holds people back. We give up too quick. I've said this several times today. We want what's easy, not what works. Oh, that's too hard. You got to do those things anyway. You got to do those hard things if you want to have that exceptional success. And persistence is the key here. You're going to get no's. You're going to get yeses. So we just grab the yeses and just, push through the no's and the hard things. Persistence is not something we're born with like any of these other things. It's things that we learn. And I can tell you, for me, I can remember exactly when I learned how important persistence is. I can't say, oh, I knew that, I'm going to speak on this someday. I can tell people how important this is. I just know that it hit me that I didn't quit. And that's why I got this. I was in junior high and I wanted a 10-speed bike, and they were expensive. And my family couldn't just buy me things like that. So my dad said, if you want a 10-speed bike so you can ride all over town this summer with your girlfriends because you're not old enough to drive, I will give you half the money for your birthday and you can earn the rest. Well, that sounded like a pretty good deal to me. Now today I'm like, it's $80, Dad, but I had to earn the other half. But the deal was I had to get 3 A's on my report card to get that $40 for my birthday. So it's even like more like, what? But that's how bad I wanted it. That's how big my why was. And so I got 3 A's for the first time in my life. I'd never even had an A. And so, when I say I learned what I was capable of, it wasn't like that was what I was thinking. It was just like, hey, I didn't quit. I really got through this and I got 3 A's. Yay me. Not, you've never had an A in your life and you were persistent. But it was my aha moment was, hey, I can do more than I think I can. That was the first time. And there were many others, but we've run out of time, so I won't go into any more detail on that. But we've all had experiences like that where we didn't quit and we thought, wow, I can do more than I think I can, or I'm better than I think I am. Or when we quit and we didn't get what we wanted. Persistence, stick with it. If it's important to you, stick with it. Whatever that goal is, whatever you want to achieve, whatever that next step is, set your goal, get an action plan together, follow all these other things, and then persist through it. It's not easy. We want easy. How about let's want what we want and do what we need to get what we want. Do you want it bad enough to do whatever it takes to get whatever you want? All right, I'm sorry I went over, but thank you for sticking with me. And we've got just a few more quotes here. God must have loved ordinary people because he made so many of us. Jim Valvano, I love that quote because that's me, just an ordinary person with exceptional results because of these 10 keys. The things that are most worthwhile in life are really those within the reach of almost every human being who cares to seek them out. Love that. All right, so last thing here, I've got an opportunity for you to get 35% off of my entire website. This is just until the 10th of August. So it expires the 10th, and the code is just equip me, all caps. So when you check out of my website, it will just give you a place to enter that code, enter that, apply, bam, you've got that 35%. It's good for anything on my website, and just cut and paste this right into your browser. That'll take you right to my shopping page. Hey, thanks so much everybody for being with me. I hope you take advantage of this. I don't do this very often. So grab those incentive gifts for your team, grab that training that's going to equip you to be better in an area that you really would like some help with. All kinds of good stuff there for you to grow your business with. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.